girls. So today I am going to do a video on one of my favorite kinds of protein shakes that I drink early in the morning, and I'm going to show you two different versions, a larger version and a smaller version, and a caffeinated version and a less caffeinated. So if you want to find out about one of my favorite morning hot protein powder shakes, stay tuned. Okay, so here are some of the ingredients that I recommend having. The first thing is some hot water. You need approximately 1 1/4 cup to 2 cups of water. So if you're gonna do this smaller size shaker cup, you're gonna need 1 1/4 cup at least of water. And then if you wanna do a larger cup, this one can take up to 2 cups of hot water. So boil your hot water, and then what I like to do is I like to make my tea or coffee, and I make it in a mug. Organic chai, spiced black tea, and it's excellent. They actually also make this in a decaffeinated version as well. And I normally brew this and let it sit for about 2 or 3 minutes. This actually doesn't take that long to brew. As a matter of fact, if you let it brew for more than 10 minutes, it can be too spicy. Just add more warm water. So the other thing that I like to do is make coffee. I've already made my coffee today, and I put it in this canister here. If you want to know how I make my coffee, I can show you how I do it. I actually use a French press, and it's the perfect size for this canister. It actually is perfect for making 2 of these 2 cups, because this actually holds about 4 cups of coffee, which is great. That's perfect for if I'm going out for a long day or something like that. Then I use rice milk. You can use any kind of milk that you want. You could use hazelnut milk, almond milk, regular milk, whatever kind of milk you want. And then I have my protein powder. So again, you can use any kind of vanilla protein powder that you want, but the kind of protein powder that I'm using today is the metabolic vanilla. And blender bottles, I don't know if you guys have ever seen these before. They have this shaker thing. If you guys work out in the gym at all, you guys will definitely see a lot of guys carrying these around. I got this one at the it's a new sports store in town. What's it called? I think it's Olympic Sports. It might be Olympia Sports, but I think they're a chain. And this one's pretty nice. It's pink, and I got a green one too that day. And then this one I actually got through Arbonne, which they have a chocolate protein. That's a pea shoot protein that I love. I'll show you a shake that I do with that. So I'm just going to show you. So what I normally do is I make my tea or my coffee, and I make sure that I let it sit for at least 5 to 10 minutes. So again, if you're making the chai, make sure that you pull the bag out after about 2 or 3 minutes, but still let your tea set for a while, because otherwise you kind of bake the protein powder, and that doesn't taste very good. So I'm actually, even in this hot canteen, it will be too warm to add the protein powder right away. So in order for me to drink it right away, I add milk. Alright, so what I normally do is I fill up the smaller plastic blender bottle with approximately 2/3 of coffee, and then I shake my rice milk. I like the organic too, and I try to get the original because it has less sugar in it actually. And this is just what works for me. When you add the rice milk, I just only put it so that it's approximately, I'd say that's more than 3/4 full right now. That's probably a little bit too full actually. This protein powder is 29 grams of protein, and it's a total of 60 grams of protein powder. So this is a lot of protein powder, which might overwhelm a lot of you actually. When at first it's not the normal serving size. A lot of the other protein powders that I use had a much smaller serving size, or you'd have to scoop a couple times so it wouldn't seem like as much, but it actually is about the same amount. So this is as much pressure as this can take. I'm actually gonna go ahead and shake this one up. The key I always make sure is make sure that this pops, and then you wanna make sure this is screwed on really tight. I shake it 10 times. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then pop it right away. These plastic containers are not intended for hot liquid. That's why I keep stressing that you need to make sure that you let the hot liquid sit for about 10 minutes if you're making a thing of coffee. And then if you're gonna put it in here, you don't want to fill it up as much. I would only put coffee in here up to about here. You can fill up with a little more coffee in here. This is how I've been preferring to drink it lately, just because I really like my coffee. And the key with the taller cup here is you want to try to make sure to not overfill it, and you want more space in here because there's more liquid in here, so there's going to create more pressure up here. So just make sure you have more air space in here. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'll normally pop it and shake it about 3 times. So that was twice. I'm gonna get a napkin and wipe this off here. I wanted to say a couple of other things, that if you didn't have one of these blender bottles, that you could also use the Magic Bullet. They actually do recommend using the the Magic Bullet for hot drinks, which I couldn't believe that. I started reading in it one day, and actually I use the same proportions for these. If you get the big kit, it comes with these different sizes. I don't even know what these sizes are. I don't even think it says. But yes, you can use these same proportions that I talked about in here on these, and they actually work really well. And you just put it on there, but the same thing, you have to make sure this one, you want to make sure you have more airspace, because in the same instance, these really can't handle the hot pressure either. When you will pop it off, it will pop off. And make sure that when you do these, that you really make sure it's cooler, because I do find with the Magic Bullet that it froths up a lot more, which means that it becomes a lot more aerated, which means that it gets a lot hotter. So make sure that if you use the blender, that your product is much cooler, which that means you're having your coffee kind of lukewarm. So I actually recommend this. It's not really faster than this. It feels like it is because I don't have to rinse off the ball. I don't know. I just put this in the dishwasher when I'm done. So I really love these shakers, and I have really been enjoying it. So I wanted to just say one more time what the proportions are. So I put approximately 2 cups of coffee in here, and approximately 1 1/4 cup of coffee in here. And then just probably not even a 1/2 cup of rice milk in here, and probably approximately a cup of rice milk in here. So those are just some ratios for you to play around with. And also I would use the same ratios if I was using chai or coffee, and those are the 2 that I really like. When you mix the coffee with the vanilla, it tastes a lot like a vanilla frap. I hope you guys will stay tuned later on this week for my series on backcountry, and I will be looking forward to comments below. Thanks for subscribing. Bye.